I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street. And there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. And we sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you are doing well. Thank you for being here and giving us a little bit of your time. Hello there, all. We are here, and we are on time. I guess we're 5 minutes late. Well, it's a few minutes late. Sorry about that. I thought we were doing well here, but I guess not. This is the Political Spotlight, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Kristopher H. Bilbrey. As always, producer Kate is at the controls, making sure everything is running smoothly, so we want to give her a shout-out. Thank you to all of you for tuning in and giving us a bit of your time. We understand how valuable your time is, and we are honored that you have decided to share this time with us. Before we get into the show, and let me tell you, it is a biggin'. It's a big show tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Before we get into the show, let me remind you that if any of you out there are not subscribers, please just consider hitting that subscribe button. It does not cost you a thing. Once you hit the subscribe button, you will then be able to click the bell, and that will allow you to set up the notifications so you can be notified when we go live at 9 p.m. Eastern, Sunday through Thursday, 5 nights a week. It will also notify you when we drop shorts and when we drop static videos. That's very important. And while you're in there clicking around on all those buttons, maybe consider giving this video the old thumbs up. You can give us the middle finger if you like, but we'd also ask while you're doing it, if you would give us a thumbs up, that would be fantastic. Also, this is a very interactive show, which means we are interested in what you have to say, whether you agree or disagree or whatever else is on your mind. So if you are watching live, please feel free to comment in the live chat box over here on the right-hand side of the screen. Or if you're watching on your own time via replay, then you'll need to comment in the comment box below. Please understand that it might take a moment, but we will get back to you. I do like to interact with folks, whether they're live or Memorex, so please give us your thoughts. Most importantly, please help to spread the word by sharing the show with everyone you know. That is the single best way that you can help us out. And most importantly, this one is going to be a big show for my Muncie folks tonight. So if you are out there and you live, work, or play in Muncie, you're going to want to listen up. If you know people that live, work, or play in Muncie, then you're going to want to share this show for them, because this is going to be a big show. And I ask you, for all of you that are watching, If anybody is watching on Facebook, you don't want to be watching on Facebook. It's okay, but if you click over and you watch from YouTube, you will be able to interact with the people that are commenting. You'll be able to comment, and it's much more entertaining from the viewer's standpoint to watch from YouTube, because you'll be able to interact with more people that comment. There are fewer and fewer people watching from Facebook, and so if you can move over to YouTube, because if you're on Facebook, you will only get to see the other people on Facebook. You won't be able to get to see everybody else's comments. That's the reason I say that. As far as I'm concerned, watch from wherever you want to watch from, but watching from YouTube, in my opinion, is a better viewing experience for all of you. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for not being here last night. I'll tell you, I was just kind of in a little bit of a funk. I've been waiting for records from both Muncie and Delaware County. I've been waiting for records from Madison County. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. That only sounds like 3 places, so that's not that big a deal. That only seems like it's 3 places, but I have to impress upon you how many different record requests I have in for both Delaware County and the city of Muncie. It seems like a lot. So while there are only 3 different locations, I have many different requests in for both the county and the city. And so that is kind of bumming me out a little bit, because look, here at the end of the day, I've got this little battle going on with my grandfather. My grandfather's like, it's because they don't like you. And I'm like, well, yeah, Dan doesn't like me. But here's the thing. It's interesting how it goes in government. When the Democrats are in power, the Republicans are my fans. When the Republicans are in power, the Democrats are my friends. And generally, it's like the people who are in the positions of power, some of them don't like me, but I have a lot of friends from down the aisles, down the hallways, the people that like to gossip, the people that like to tell the information. And in my opinion, those are the people that matter. I don't need these people in their high ivory towers to be my friends. The people that are corrupt and are dirty and doing their own thing, those are not folks that I care. Like, I don't care if they like me or not particularly. Like, I oftentimes will get people who will say, well, you know, you only pick the losers. Your team doesn't win a lot. And I'm like, well, no, because I'm only selecting people that are the people that it's going to be hard for them to win. You know what I mean? So not always. Some Democrats like you. Yes. No, that's true, Annie. That is true. And not all of the Republicans hate me. It's kind of a, I have a fair balance of people that love and hate me from both sides, and I sleep well with that. All right, so last night I was kind of bummed out because we didn't have records, and I decided that when I woke up today, I was going to send an email, one more email to the city and to the county. I'm not really to the point where I need to send an email to Anderson yet, so I'm holding off on that. But I was going to send an email, kind of a nasty email, complaining to the city of Muncie. And then I was going to send an email, a kind of a nasty email to the county, complaining about how long it's taking on these record requests. And I thought, I'm not going to go live. This was last night. I had a couple of things I needed to do. I really didn't have much to talk about. And I just said, screw it. We won't go live tonight. I'll rest. I'll get rested up. And then Tuesday night, I will either have records of some sort in my hand, or I will have an email that I have sent to them complaining, and I'll be able to read that to you and talk to you about it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, I have both. And I'm so happy. And so we have a big show tonight. And I'm going to let you know the topics for tonight's show go like this. We are going to be talking about public documents. I'm going to be talking about public documents and the importance of public documents. I'm going to go over loosely the request process, turning in APRA request, and explaining the difference between APRA and FOIA and things like that. I hear a lot of people use those terms. You can kind of use them interchangeably, but if you want to sound intelligent while you're using them, I'll give you the key to be able to do that. Then we're going to talk in that topic about a couple of different things that occurred today. From there, we're going to talk about Greenlight Resources, LLC. You guys know that name. And then we're going to talk about their contract or the lack thereof. All right. Then I've got a couple of sub-points under that. Then we're going to talk about the Muncie Redevelopment Commission. And we're going to talk about the Muncie Redevelopment Commission under Dan Ridenour in the last 4 years. And then we're going to talk about the Muncie Redevelopment Commission as it is during this new term of Mayor Ridenour's second 4-year time in office. Then we're going to talk about the Economic Development Director / MRC Director, which there is no real such thing as an MRC Director. So that's why I'm saying it like that. We're going to talk about those two terms, what they mean or don't mean. And that is currently right now Jeff Howe. And we're going to talk about him and his contract. And then I have a couple of drop-down points underneath that. And then we're going to wrap the show up talking about something very odd. We're going to be wrapping the show up talking about a long-term planning retreat that Mayor Dan Ridenour is currently planning for his administration, meaning the department heads and the city councilors and all of their families. And the big question there, ladies and gentlemen, should be, who's paying for this nonsense? So we're going to be talking about these 3, 4, or 5 big things, and this is going to be a big show. It's all Muncie oriented, and we're going to go ahead and get into this. So, ladies and gentlemen, public documents, all right? In government, it doesn't matter if you're talking about the town of Gaston or you're talking about the town of Spiceland or you're talking about Indianapolis or if you're talking about L.A. or New York, all right? Or if you're talking about Washington, D.C. It doesn't matter if you're talking about local or if you're talking about state or you're talking about national. Part of what makes our government work is the fact that we, the people, have the power, or we are supposed to have the power over our elected officials. We're supposed to be able to keep an eye on them, to monitor what they're doing. The media, journalists, the press, commentators, we're all supposed to be able to keep our eye. When people want to talk about me and what I do and how I do it and what I think I am or what I don't think I am or what they think I am, I say, quit. I am nobody special. I am nothing special. I am a normal human being. No, let me take that back. I am a human being that's really not normal. Maybe a little egotistical, maybe a little narcissistic, because who else would put a camera and a microphone in front of them and talk and talk and talk the way I do? But beyond that, this and doing all of this and going out and getting all these records and doing all of this stuff is not what makes me big and bad and powerful. The fact that I am a citizen is what makes me powerful. Every single one of you are just as powerful. And the thing is, together, we are more powerful than any elected official. So, along with our duty as citizens and the media's duty as the media and as journalists, we have a couple roles that we have to play. We have to play the role of the meeting attendee, the person who goes to the meeting and watches what happens and participates in that and uses the laws that are in place to allow us to go into meetings and make sure that they're not doing things behind closed doors. And then the other side of that are the public documents. Anything like 90%, maybe more than that, maybe 93, 94% of all documents through the hands of an elected or appointed official or a government worker or something that they generate, a contract, and paper, invoices, canceled checks, all of these things, the majority of all of this crap that they store on hard drives and in file cabinets are public documents. And any of us have the ability to walk into our city hall, our county building, the state house, the National Archive, and request records through one of a couple different ways. On the federal level, it's called a Freedom of Information Act, which is FOIA. I hear a lot of people say FOIA at the local level. I went up to City Hall in Muncie and I turned in a FOIA. Okay, I hear a lot of those people use the word FOIA. I hear a lot of them use the word FOIA, so it's no big deal. But if you want to be really intelligent and be truthful with what it is, in the state of Indiana, it's called APRA, and that stands for Access to Public Record Act. All right, that's Indiana's version of the Freedom of Information Act. I'm sure Ohio has a law. I'm sure Kentucky has a law. I'm sure Colorado has a law, and onward and onward and onward, okay? So, with that, there are certain rules and ways that it's supposed to be handled. Like, for example, as the citizens, as media, as journalists, as me as a political commentator, I am able to go in and hand them a scrawled out note on this pad of paper and say, I would like some records. Or I can fill it out on their little form, or I can type it up and email it in, or I can snail mail it in. And depending on how I do that, they have a couple different ways that they then have to behave. They can give me a receipt right then. They can email me a receipt, and they have to say, we're working on this, and we'll find out if we have any documents that are responsive to your requests, and we'll let you notify when we do it. Now, here's the situation. If you're requesting something that is a pretty new document, if like, for example, let's say let's say tomorrow at the Board of Works meeting, we all know about Mark Slusher and his horrible accident he had last night. I don't know what the deal is with his accident, and everybody has things to say, good and bad, about various people. And Mark Slusher and I have butted heads before, but he was apparently in some kind of horrific traffic accident last night and is in the hospital. And so I will real quick say that my thoughts and my prayers go out to him. You know, I don't wish anybody any ill will towards anybody in any way. So I hope that he recovers soon. And my thoughts and my prayers are for him and his family and anyone else involved. And that's a horrible situation. So he has a contract with the City of Muncie, but he's apparently going to be out of commission for a while. All right. They talked about this tonight for the Muncie Parks Board meeting. So let's say for the next couple of months, the city was going to also contract back with Roger Overby. All right. The man who used to do the meetings. Let's say that Dan went in to the Board of Works tomorrow and said, we have a contract and we, the City of Muncie, are going to contract with Roger Overby. And they sign that and they vote off on it. And I send a records request in tomorrow afternoon and I say, City of Muncie, I want that contract. Honestly, I'm going to let you know, if that would have been the previous administration, chances are I would be notified within a day. Maybe if it was a slow day, I might even get it the same day because it's something that's out in the open on someone's desk. They've got it. It's right there. Listen, I am not unreasonable. There's a police officer named Dennis Belt, and he first went on duty for the City of Muncie in like 1976. All right. He was like the second or third hire in 1976. And he worked forever, worked a really long time. If I wanted to find something out about him and I went and they would have to dig back in the files in the archive, obviously that's going to take a little bit longer than if I asked for that contract that's going to be signed tomorrow. I'm not saying that is, I'm just totally making that up, but roll with me. All right. So obviously I'm reasonable. If I ask for emails that stretch back 6 years over different administrations and different people, obviously that's going to take a little bit of time. If I request something that is going to have to go to the attorneys to be reviewed to make sure there's not something that they need to take out or to make sure that there's not something that's not public, obviously that's going to take some time. But just to cut through the BS, in the state of Indiana, the Public Access Counselor's Office gives you about a 30-day window. If I, Kristopher Bilbrey, or you, Johnny T. audience, issues a records request tomorrow is the 22nd. If within 30 days I do not have that request, I am able to then file what's called a public record complaint and file that with the public access counselor, and then that starts a whole process. Now, like what Annie's saying here, Annie's aware of what I'm requesting. I'm requesting things like invoices. I'm requesting things like emails for just a couple of week period from like the last month. I'm requesting things like contracts. None of those things should honestly take longer than a week. Honestly, most of what I request should be able to be given to me within about a 48-hour window. And if we're being really crazy, a lot of what I request could be printed off and given to me while I'm at City Hall. That brings me to my next point. Public record requests and the APRA request and the process of giving the records to the person asking them in both ways can be a helpful tool. However, it can also be a punitive tool to like cause harm, meaning I could submit 15 requests tomorrow to the city of Anderson and be an asshole and just dump on them and make them do a lot of work just because I'm mad at them. And that would be a way to use that kind of in an evil way to make them have to do work. And it could be for nonsense stuff. And that's not a good thing to do. I'm going to be really honest. I've done it. I've done that before to municipalities and to governments because they've been very stupid. I did it to the city of Winchester. Yeah, after my arrest for speaking out in the meeting. Okay. At the same time, they are also able to punish through their side of things too by making it wait. I have heard tale of folks. Let's just say Madison County. I've heard folks that have went in and two different people have went in and requested the exact same thing. And one person got records because they were liked and they got along well. And the other person was made to wait for weeks. Okay. And it's just how it goes. So that's also something that people need to understand, that these can both be used, in a way to hurt the other side. Now, it shouldn't be that way. In a normal process, it should be, simple. It should be easy for me. It shouldn't be used, over aggressively. It should be used for a purpose and for a point. And, we should be able to work together on that. The city of Muncie's crazy. I'm telling you right now. I was not always nice to the Tyler administration. I bashed Dennis and I talked negatively about Dennis and people in his administration quite frequently at various points. However, there was a respect that was built up, and specifically a respect that was built up between myself and members of his administration. And I would issue record requests. And I'm telling you, I know what the people were doing in the offices. They were busy. I understand that record requests are not these people's only job. All right. And I was able to get record requests in a timely manner. So I know, I'm telling you, I know beyond all shadow of a doubt, when I'm requesting the documents that I'm requesting from the city of Muncie, and they're taking 40 days, 50 days, 60 days to get me the records back, I know it's absolutely crazy. I got something in my eye. Hold on. So I understand that they have been slow walking me. Honestly, I used to be able to ask the Ridenour administration questions. Man, I got something in my eye. I've been able to ask the Ridenour administration questions and get answers within a really timely manner for most of the first administration, for most of the first 4-year period. But starting in 2023, when they were running for re-election, I noticed that they just stopped answering questions. They stopped answering any questions that I had. And when he won his re-election, the very first thing that he did was he deleted me on Facebook from an account that I had access to and always had access to. It was his private account, but that was the first thing he did. And then I noticed I would get the press releases that I've always got, but as far as getting questions from the administration through legitimate front of house type of scenarios, that was over. All of the information now that I get from Ridenour or from Ridenour's administration is from sources behind the scenes. They are actively trying to prevent me from being able to report on anything they're doing. Absolutely. Absolutely. And so I'm going to just tell you, when I have a set down meeting with Patty Goddard, who's the new HR director, and first of all, I got to say, I sat down and talked with her today. And have you ever sat down and talked with someone that you could tell that they were really trying their hardest to make you feel like they were helping you, but it was patronizing, it was over the top all at the same time? That's what she was doing. Because she's not from the Muncie area, because she didn't know me, and because she's new here, she talked to me the entire time like this was my first time ever in City Hall, and she was trying to baby step me through it and make me understand that, honey, baby, honey doll, things like that. And I'm just like, oh God, like I get it. Let's just cut through the bull. All right. So that's really interesting. So I sent an email today to Mayor Ridenour and to the communications director. I did not send it to the HR director because I did not have her email address. I also did not send it to an employee of the personnel HR, whatever it's called, Marlene Mitchell, because I didn't necessarily blame Marlene Mitchell for the complaint that I had. I was mad at the administration. I was mad at Craig Wright. I was mad at the department heads who I believe are slow walking me. So the email that I sent to Dan Ridenour and to the communications director said the following: I am reaching out to you looking for answers because maybe you're unaware as the mayor. Something has to be done about the ridiculously slow speed at which the city of Muncie is handling record requests. I fully understand a request for records that would need to be searched for through archives, or a request for documents that would have to be looked over by legal to determine what, if anything, was public or not public, would take a little bit of time. I fully understand that. I am not unreasonable. But when we are talking about requests for records that are clearly public, or when we are talking about requests for records that are easily accessible, there is no reason that it should take over 30 plus days to get these requests completed. 40, 50, 60, 90 days is ridiculous. I understand that there has been a bit of a change up in the HR PR department, personnel department, but to my knowledge, that has now been handled, and we shouldn't be having such a problem with delay that we are. There are several requests that are currently waiting to be handled. Many of them should be very easy to complete and get rolling out. And then I ended probably with my most snarky line, which was, come on, Dan, show me somewhere in there that the whole waiting, wanting to improve communication, wanting to improve transparency, and wanting to improve accountability thing wasn't all just BS campaign fluff. Let me know. And then I gave my name and my email and my phone number. Well, I sent that this morning at about 8:30, and I did not send that to Marlene Mitchell. However, today at 1:30, I received back a response from Marlene. And I think the response that I received from Marlene was extremely inappropriate. And I'm going to show it to you all right here. The response I got from Marlene was as follows. Good afternoon, Chris. I need to respond to your complaint. First of all, do you? I didn't ask for your response. But second of all, okay. She says, I love your passion for the work you do in the community. Well, what do you know about the work I do in the community? What do you know of that? I mean, is this just something you're saying? But you're not the only person that requests stuff, even though you request the most. Okay. I understand that. I've never said that I was. She goes on to say, I am the one that has to document every request. Okay. That's not my fault. She goes on and says, respond that it is received. Again, I didn't assign your job to you. Then sort and deliver to the departments for answers. Okay, that shouldn't be hard. On top of the regular work that goes on in this department and all departments, it can be very time consuming. Okay, I understand that. She goes on to say, I just spent 4 hours yesterday working on requests, which didn't make for a very good Monday. Okay. For me, it didn't make for a very good Monday for me. And I am about tempted to charge you a portion of my wage to work on your stuff if you don't quit complaining. Excuse me?
That's illegal.
Well, yeah, right. First of all, like, that's illegal. Second of all, I already pay you along with all of the other citizens. You know, you're already getting paid to do this shit. All right. If you and others would just take the time to realize that more, like, who are you talking to, Marlene? I'll put my knowledge of what goes on in local government up against yours at any point. If you or others would just take the time to realize that more goes on in this department than handling requests, I understand that. Maybe Ridenour should give it to the communications director. Maybe HR shouldn't be handling it. I don't know. You know, there are 3 of you in there, and if you're having this hard time, you know, I don't know what to tell you. We know we have a duty to comply to the citizens. Stop. Okay. It's not a duty. By law, there is law that defines when you have to do what. All right. There is a law that defines when you have to do what. There's also steps that need to be taken if you don't. I mean, I've never had a problem with Marlene, but this makes me have a problem with Marlene. In fact, I have some stuff ready for you as soon as I can add it up. I will notify you when to pick it up. All right. Listen, I get what Marlene's saying. I understand what she's saying. Annie says the APA request should be handled by communications director. Absolutely. How are other people's requests and her workload your problems? Absolutely, Denise King. How are they anybody's problems? Listen, and I like Marlene. I don't have a problem with Marlene. I just don't think that it's appropriate how she spoke to me here. If she's having a case of the Mondays, maybe she needs to go have a quick smoke break with Alvin and eat a candy bar and talk to Patty and get a hug or something. But none of this is my fault. All right. So, really, really, really crazy here. So then here's the other issue that I have. So after this email that she sent me, she then sends me another email that says, by the way, we have your request ready for you, sir. It's 70 cents. Now, the request that I went up to get today, right here, was right here. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The request I went was a 7-page document, 70 cents. Should not have been difficult at all. All right. What blows
Can you tell me what the date on that is?
The date on what? The date on when I
the paper in your hand. What is the date from it? When was it submitted? When was it signed?
This was signed on the 14th, and we're going to get to that here in a
minute.
February.
So it's 3 months old.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not anything ancient.
Nope. Now, in all fairness, I just requested. No. Back up real quick. So, in all fairness, I will say, I requested this the day that I requested this last Thursday. So I got this quick like.
Oh, okay.
Here's what I'm bitching about. What I'm bitching about is the request that I sent in March asking for a contract that looks just like this from Greenlight Resources, invoices from the controller's office for Greenlight Resources, which, as Annie Nomalis said, should be the print of a push of a button. What I've requested back in March should take them 15 minutes to compile. All right. You want to make me wait a week? Have at it. Okay. You want to make me wait 30 minutes, 30 days? Okay. But I requested it back in March, where it's almost June. They don't want you in City Hall. Just email. Absolutely. That brings me to my next point. The police at City Hall. All right. Listen to me, ladies and gentlemen. I am aware of the day and age that we are living in. I am aware that people do bad things to people all of the time. I am aware of all of the craziness that can and does go on. I am aware for the need of safety and yada, yada, yada. What I do not like is that I can walk into the Delaware County building. Okay? Can walk into the Delaware County building, 2 buildings to the south of Muncie City Hall. The sheriff's deputy there says, anything in your pockets? I say, nope. I put my keys, my pen, my phone in the desk or in the tray. I walk through, beep. He walks around, he wands me. I walk back through. He's like, oh, it's your belt buckle. Oh, it's your shoes. You don't have a gun and knife on you. You're good to go. I pick up my stuff and I walk my happy ass throughout the building. I go in. Yeah, well, I get accosted by other county employees. That's right, Annie. And that is true. I go into the Justice Center, which there are the courts there. There are prosecutors there. There are all kinds of things there. Nobody asks me any questions. You go to City Hall, the People's Building up here, the People's Building, City Hall. I walk in there. First thing the police say is, "What are you doing here?" I figured I'd come in and get some froyo. Oh, I was just going to place my bet. Oh, I came in for a massage as I'm taking my pants off. What do you think I'm doing here? I'm coming in to do city business. My uncle touched me. I want to go to Victims Advocate. I don't want to announce that down here. My boyfriend just beat me up. I want to go up and talk to domestic violence detective. I come in to get a building permit. I don't want to get accosted by retired police officers. So I get an email today that says, you have records that are ready to be picked up at City Hall in the personnel department, which is in the personnel department on the second floor. You can pick these records up between 8 and 4 Monday through Friday. So I get there at 3:30. The police officer says, "Hi, what are you doing?" I said, "Oh, just trying to get records." Oh, now keep in mind, this is a man I used to be friends with. Used to be friends with this man. Oh, coming here to get records. Records, I see. Nope, you don't see them. They're upstairs. I've not got them yet. You know, what do you mean records you see? Like he's trying to solve, like he's trying to figure out if I killed Kennedy or not. Oh, records I see. Where were you when Mary Beth was getting stabbed in Whitechapel? And, you know, no, I'm not Jack the Ripper. I'm here to get records. I don't want to talk to you about the records because you treated me like an asshole when I was here asking questions of the Board of Works. You let me know that we weren't friends, so I don't really want to chat with you. You watched me walk through the detector. I don't have any metal on me. Sit down. That might be. So I say, "Oh, I'm here. Marlene sent me a message. Oh, no one's up there. They're gone. Marlene's gone." I said, "Well, she better not be gone. She just sent me an email." I pull up the email. He says, "Oh, I'm not going to read that." All right, then go back behind your glass where you're safe and get the hell out of my way. Right, Cindy, but the thing is now I'm speaking truth to power and they don't like that kind of thing. So, like, we have to have this, like, he's literally trying to get me to leave the building. He wants me to leave the building. He does not want me to go upstairs in the elevator. Next time I do it, I'm going to tell him I'm there for something else. And then as the elevator doors are closed, I'm going to be, "I lied, I'm going to the second floor. So I get up to the second floor. I feel like I've been accosted. I've done like a cavity search. You know. He's had his hands so far up my bum hole that he's tickling my tongue. I'm like, all right. So I go up in there. I ring the bell. City Hall is closed for business. City Hall is closed to the citizens. The citizens have no business in City Hall. It's gross. It's really, really, really gross. It's absolutely gross. Yeah, listen. Dennis Tyler might have taken $5,000 for some nonsense, but he'd let the public walk in the building. You know what? I'd probably let him steal $5,000 every 6 months if he go back to letting people come in the building. You know? How about we give him his mayor's pay and let him take $5,000 out of whatever fund he wants every 6 months. Just every 6, not more than that, but every 6 months, as long as he allows public to come back in the building. Like, I'm down with that. Yeah, I think it's worth it. It's gross. And Nancy Lindell was a screw up as a personnel director. I was not happy with Micah as a personnel director. And this new woman that they got, man, I don't know. I don't know. She told me that she didn't like being micromanaged. So I think she'll last there for about 2 months, if that. Because Dan is the biggest micromanager that there is walking. All right? So it's just insane. So I tell her that I'm there to get records and that I have some complaints I would like to talk to her about. She's like, okay, well, what complaints do you have to talk about? And I said, well, just the overall complaints of, like, I don't like how the communication's going here, and I just don't like how hard it is. Just the transfer of knowledge and information shouldn't be as hard as it is. Like, you don't understand. I feel like I've been violated just coming up to the second floor. I just, like, it blows my mind. So she's like, well, I can't do anything about that. That's the mayor. I'm like, listen, you don't have to break it down for me, lady. You're new here. I'm not. I know all these assholes. You're the one that's new, and she's going to be like, oh, he's being mean to me because she's trying to talk all sunshiny and flowery. Lady, look, I am 30 years past the flowers and sausages. I'm not happy here anymore. You guys don't do anything. You don't do anything to get the sunshiny, smiley, happy Kristopher Bilbrey. When you start being public servants, I'll start smiling and having a pat on the back again. Listen, I can't believe how they are handling these things. These ARP requests could actually help the administration find problems. No shit. No kidding. I don't know. Listen, I'm telling you, there might have been problems wrong with the other administration. Look, there definitely was problems with the other administration. There's problems with every administration. It is what it is. It's government. We're people. Things happen. People break and do dumb things. There's always going to be problems. But I'm going to tell you, I have never seen anybody fumble the APRA process as badly as the city of Muncie. I'm going to tell you, to me, now it might be to other people, but to me, Anderson, Madison County is not even this bad. They're trying to work their way there, but they're not as bad yet just because I haven't had that much. The experience I've had with them, I've had more positive than bad. So, we can get there, I'm sure. But I'm just telling you, like, this lady's like, well, I've been the HR director in 2 cities. Okay, great. I've been in 3 cities just today, lady. Like, I don't know. She just got on my nerves big time. So she's going to try to get back to me. She wanted me to know that she couldn't do anything with the police, and if I had problems with the mayor, I was going to have to take it up with the mayor. Okay, thank you. I'll do that tonight. Like, welcome to my show. You just got, I have to come up with some kind of a name for her. She's not got a name yet. Someone told me the other day that they said they realized they had arrived because they got a name on the political spotlight. So I'm upset with how the record request happened. Now, I'm going to put a pin in this for a second because we're going to come back to it, because we're going to go on from here to the Greenlight service deal. But keep in mind here in just a minute. Yeah, right. That's what I'd like to know, Annie. How long were you an HR director in those cities? So at the end of all of this crazy ass inquisition, all this nonsense, after having to turn my skin inside out and tell them if how long it's been since I took a bowel movement, I finally was able to pay them 70 cents. And I was able to get my 7 pieces of paper. Dude, you'd think this was gold. All right. Now, we're going to come back to this. And we're going to talk about it when we talk about the Muncie redevelopment. So just put a pin in this. Next, I have heard. So I started investigating Greenlight Resources. I started hearing about Greenlight Resources about the week or two before April 8th, which was when the eclipse was. I started hearing, hey, there's a problem. Hey, there's a problem. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good suggestion there, Annie. I should go. Yes, I will do that. I'm going to write that down. Yes. So I started investigating Greenlight Resources very softly, like right up while the eclipse was happening. Okay. Yeah, right, Tweety Bird. Okay. So within a couple weeks of that, when we found out that Dustin was on paid administrative leave starting the 19th of April, that's when I started doing my shows and really got big about the Greenlight Resources thing. You guys all watched that. We talked about it. We dealt with it. Right around the 20th, the 22nd, 23rd of April, I issued a records request. And let me tell you what I issued the request for. Okay. Reference the Greenlight Resources. I sent a request to the City of Muncie for the following. I wanted all invoices that Greenlight Resources turned into the City of Muncie. And even though I know that they were not created until July of 2023, I went back from 2020 forward. Any invoice between Ridenour's first day in office and the day that I turned it in, the 26th, April 26th, 11:50 a.m., I wanted all Greenlight Resources invoices. I also requested all invoices turned in by Dustin Clark in that same time period. Every invoice he turned in, period. He turned it in, I want it. I then requested every check, every copy of the check when it came back, when it was paid to Greenlight Resources, and every copy of every check paid to Dustin Clark. I also wanted every email between Dan Ridenour and Dustin Clark where they referenced or talked about Greenlight Resources or Dustin Clark's contract employment with the City of Muncie. Now, I know that one's a little hinky because of the emails might be a touch wonky, but just keep your seat for a second because I'm going to tell you what. I then finally ask for the contract between the City of Muncie and Greenlight Resources. Okay? I ask for the contract. Now, shortly thereafter, I have become aware that another person requested very similar to the same thing I requested, and they received a partial request from the city about the invoices. Okay? I become aware that there was a person, may or may not be an attorney, that requested very similar to what I requested, and they got a partial request from the city. It's very common for them to give out partial requests. You've requested 5 things in this request. We have 3 of them ready. We'll give you these. We'll give you the other 2 when we get them. All right. So far, that person's not received anything else, and I didn't even receive what he had received. Why? Okay. Since then, and just today, I have been made aware that another individual who may or may not have a spouse that is watching this program, but I'm not going to out that person because I didn't ask if I could, made a public record request for some of the same things, but some different things. But at least one of the things they requested was the contract for Greenlight Resources. And I was made aware. I have not been able to see the post because this person and I are not friends on Facebook, so I didn't see it. I've only heard about it, but I've talked to the person about it, and I'm going to tell you what this person has said. I'm not going to out this person. I'm just going to say what was said. This person requested the contract for Greenlight Resources. And asked for other things. And they received a response back, I guess today, maybe yesterday, today. And that response to the person said they only had one of the things that the person requested, and they did not have anything else pertaining to anything that this person had requested. So, my question to this person was, that's interesting. So by that response, does that make you believe they are saying they do not have a contract between the city and the mayor, or between the city and Greenlight Resources, or between the mayor and Greenlight Resources? And this person said that there is no contract, or they're saying they didn't generate contracts, but they didn't generate contracts, but we still should have. They have them, but they didn't generate them. Okay, so one of those two things, obviously, either they have them and they haven't given them to us yet, which they should give. And contracts are definitely public record. And I can tell you that because this is a contract that I received today. Contracts are public documents. And for the record here, any contract that the city enters into, that the mayor enters into, has to go before the Board of Works to be voted on, signed off on, and approved. And if it does not go before the Board of Works, then it is not a legal contract. It's not proper. It needs to go before the Board of Works. We're going to come back to that. Keep that in your mind too. So, do we not have a contract with Greenlight Resources? Is all of this craziness going on with Dustin Clark? Keep in mind the State Board of Accounts exit conference referred to a contract, but were they not shown a contract? Was this just something they made up? Is it something they're going to make up? What's going on? You know, that's crazy. So, Greenlight Resources, absolutely, yeah, just like the raises were out of ordinance that Audie brought up and then Nora brought up. Very, very good point by Audie. Absolutely. So, Greenlight Resources contract or lack thereof. I'm going to tell you, I think they don't have a contract, and I think that it's going to be screwed up. Now, I'm going to tell you, there are invoices. I do not understand why they are still slow walking me. It's not Marlene Mitchell's fault. I don't blame her. I blame Craig Wright. But what Marlene has to understand, if I don't send that complaint to Dan Ridenour, then it doesn't get up Craig Wright's ass. So I need Marlene to understand, hey, don't come shooting at me. I'm not blaming you. I'm blaming Craig. I know that you're just facilitating it. But at the end of the day, if it's your job, it's your job. So I think that there's so much screwed up here. I heard that Dustin interviewed with the state police again last week. I hope we're getting closer to a conclusion with this. I don't know. All right. That, ladies and gentlemen, now takes us on to, hold on a second. That now takes us on to the Muncie Redevelopment Commission. Now, this is where we're going to circle back around and we're going to talk about some of the very principles and the cool things that we've learned from today's episode. And we're going to talk about at this point. Muncie Redevelopment Commission. Muncie Redevelopment Commission, MRC. When the city of Muncie, and you hear Dan Ridenour, and you hear Isaac Miller, and you hear Jeffrey Howe calling it the MRC director, there is not such a thing as called the MRC director. It's called the Economic Development Director. It is a position that is not technically a city employee. Okay? Under the old administration, towards the end, it was Todd Donati. When Ridenour first took over, do you all remember who Ridenour appointed? Ridenour appointed Dave Smith, the old state trooper. And then in like 2 days, he was like, oh, no, sorry, back up. First he named Dave Smith to be the street superintendent. And then in like a matter of time, he's like, oh, he can't be the street superintendent. He's going to be the Economic Development Director. And he appointed him to be that, and he was that for like 3 or 4 months, and then he got Lyme disease. And then he stepped out. And then at that point, everyone told Dan he needed to name somebody that made sense because Dave Smith was not an Economic Development Director. Dan goes to the council asking them to fund a deputy mayor position. He says, if you do that, I will hire someone that has experience with economic development. Dan ended up hiring Richard Ivey. And then Dan made himself, Mayor Dan, the mayor and the economic development director. Okay, keep that in mind. That means Mayor Dan was the economic development director. Jeffrey Howe was the president of the Redevelopment Commission. Isaac Miller was the vice president of the economic development, or the MRC. Lorraine Tomlin was a member. I forget what his name is. Oh, you know who I'm talking about. Steve Pribella. 2, 3. Steve Pribella. And the last but not least, Shireen Wegley. Those were your 5 MRC members, and Dan Ridenour was the economic development director. Lorraine is Gretchen's sister. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is where it gets interesting. Of that redevelopment commission, the mayor has 3 picks and the council has 2 picks. All right. The mayor gets to name 3 people. The council gets to name 2. So the council, right off the bat in this new term, they name Andrew Dale and Zane Bishop. 2 amazing appointments, because they are not just going to vote in Dan's bullshit. They're going to question them on every single thing. You don't have to like Andrew Dale. You don't have to. I don't have anything against Zane Bishop. I don't have anything against Andrew Dale. I don't like everything that they do. I don't hate everything that they do. I'm friendly with both of them. I have no problem with both of them. I think it's funny that they question everything that goes on. That's what they're there for. They're not there just to kiss ass. Because the council named Dale and Zane Bishop, they did not make one of those picks Isaac Miller, which the old council had. So that leaves Dan in a pickle, because Dan now has 3 picks, but he's got too many people. He doesn't want to get rid of Shireen. There's no way. He doesn't want to get rid of Jeff Howe. There's no way. And, you know, in my opinion, it's a toss-up between Steve Pribella and Lorraine Tomlin, but he doesn't want to get rid of Isaac Miller, because Isaac Miller is an ass kisser of the highest order. So Ridenour did this deviously. Ridenour takes Jeff Howe off of the board of the MRC. He takes Lorraine Tomlin off the MRC. Bye-bye, Lorraine. Thanks for playing. And he boots her to the street. Ridenour names Shireen Wegley. Thank you. He names Steve Pribella, which, I mean, Steve Pribella, that dude's just a yes vote. I mean, whatever. And he names Isaac Miller. Wait a minute. What's he going to do with Jeff Howe? Well, he names Jeff Howe the economic development expert. Wait a minute. Jeff Howell's not called the economic development director. No. He's called the Muncie Redevelopment Commission director, which there's not really a term called that. They use those terms interchangeably, but they shouldn't. They shouldn't use them interchangeably. So that's a really funky deal. That, Annie, that exact wiggly. Yes, that exact wiggly. So now I have had a question from the very beginning of this. How much, because when Dan was the economic development director, he wasn't paying himself more money for that. So my question was, now that he's put Jeff Howell in that position, where's Jeff's money coming from? How's he getting paid? Because the city used to give some money to DAC, Delaware Advancement Corp, and Delaware Advancement Corp paid for Todd Donati. Well, now the DAC isn't even what it used to be. DAC and the Chamber of Commerce completely did some flippy flopsies and came out strange on the other end. I don't even know what's going on there. But now the City of Muncie, I can only assume under edit, is paying Jeff Howell's salary for economic development director. Now, if for those of you that don't recall, and hopefully you do, but it was back just last Thursday at the Muncie Redevelopment Commission meeting. At the very end of the meeting, very, very, very end of the meeting, Andrew Dale was trying to ask Jeff what his arrangement was. Now, for the record, Andrew had tried to ask Jeff privately. He had tried to ask privately in a letter that he wrote. Andrew tried to write a letter to Jeff, to Dan, to Isaac, to Jeff, Dan, and Isaac. Andrew had wrote a letter asking some questions. And at the end of that letter, he said, "Are you a contract employee? If so, can I see a copy of your contract? What are you getting paid? And what are you full-time or part-time? And what are your duties?" And he would not answer. Isaac didn't answer. Jeff didn't answer. Dan didn't answer. So because of that, ladies and gentlemen, Andrew Dale asked Isaac during the commissioner's questions, said, "Hey, I want the floor for a second." And he asked Jeff the question.
Jeff, I had shared when I sent my letter about updates. I was just curious, are you full-time or part-time? And how are you compensated? Is it edit funds or is it MRC funds, or how does that go?
I think it's all a matter of public record. I'm not.
To which Jeff says, "I think it's all a matter of public record." It is, but everybody makes it so damn hard to get. So that's why we need to ask.
Not really. I didn't come prepared to talk about my personal income in a public meeting.
I didn't ask your personal income. What I asked you was, are you part-time or full-time?
I'm on a contract. My contract is to get work done.
Okay. And I was just asking if,
I'm on a contract. My contract is to get work done. Get work done. Okay, listen here.
from the public's treasury, how are you compensated? Added funds? It's just a question. And it's a question I posed to you in a
I
letter.
think that's probably a question for the mayor, because the mayor pays me. The MRC does not pay me. The mayor pays me.
Well, I'll send once again what I sent both you and the mayor and Isaac on this. So we'll do it the hard way.
We'll do it the hard way. I mean, I don't understand the point of this, okay?
Just a simple question. So,
Any other commissioner comments?
and are you part-time or full-time? I apologize if I missed that.
You said he's on contract.
What does that mean? Are you working
I get
full
paid
week?
to do the job.
So you bill for an hourly rate?
We have a
Okay.
agreed upon amount,
Okay.
and I do the job.
Are there a number of hours that you're supposed to work a week? I'm just curious.
Not designated.
Okay. I'll ask to see the contract. Just curious. Yeah.
Well, if you're going to do that, a couple of things I might.
Jeff, can you step to the mic?
Sure.
Thank you.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, a couple things. I think I'd like you to, as you look at that, if you look that up, and I would probably ask you to look that up. So you want to understand how much I get paid. I assume for a reason. So let me tell you what my qualifications
I did not ask you how much you're paid.
Let me tell you what my
I asked if you're
qualifications
full-time or
are.
part-time and how you get paid.
For 4 decades, my career is in the world of commercial banking and large corporate finance.
Merry Christmas.
I worked for the largest bank in the United States, the largest bank in the world for many of those years. Beyond my banking career, I was deeply involved in economic development and graduated from the Indiana Economic Development Academy. I was also involved in workforce development for about 15 years. I led a workforce organization regionally, the state, and the national organization. Testified to Congress on behalf of workforce legislation that passed, and was involved in many aspects of workforce as it related to bank realignment and closure, Katrina recovery and relief. And I was also a member of the Governor's Human Resource Council. So I just think, if you want to do that assessment, I think that I want you to know, and I personally think the mayor got a pretty good deal, but I'll let you talk to the mayor about
Just
that.
ask some basic questions that the public.
All right. I'm going to make an official statement here right now. Right now, right here. Here's the official statement I'm going to make. Because here I have the contract for this extremely condescending asshole. All right. I have his contract in my hand. Yeah, I hate that. And the thing is, like, he's yelling into that mic. I could have turned that down and it still would have been crazy. So let me tell you what's going on here. Yeah, very defensive. First and foremost, this professional services contract is very, very, very generic. Okay, how they have this laid out, it's like they took just a generic agreement and plopped a couple things in. Like, honestly, it was entered into on the 15th of February 2024. That's what's written on the front of it. So keep that in your mind, okay? Here's a copy of it. Okay? And I'm going to put this on social media for everyone to see this. And once that happens, okay, I'm also then going to put a link of that in the description of this episode so people will be able to see these pictures. Yeah, listen to the stuttering. Absolutely. Okay. So the agreement was entered into by the city and the professional, Jeff Howe, on the 15th day of February, 2024. And just basically it talks about like what his job is, and his job's to do work of the city, yada, 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 promote business growth, yada, yada. Now listen to here listen here on the second page where it lists his compensation. Down in section 4.1. Professional agrees that the compensation for services to be provided to the city hereunder shall be $1,860 per month. $1,860 a month. $1,860 a month. Okay, let's do a little bit of math and see what we can find. 860 times 12. Okay. That's $22,320 a year. This man, who is God's gift to economic development and who was the big banker, oh, look at me, look at everything that I'm doing, blah, 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 blah. He's getting paid essentially like less than part-time. Here's the big announcement I'm going to make. Y'all ready for this big announcement? This is a sham. No. Okay, to be the economic development director, this would be wildly low. But
I actually have some numbers for you.
Okay.
So I did some looking earlier on Indiana Gateway at similarly sized cities.
Okay.
As Muncie, and looking at economic development directors and those kinds of things. So let's see here. Nope, come on. I've got to find it. I'm sorry. The director of development in Kokomo makes $82,000 a year. And that's similarly sized to.
Yeah. Hold on. Tell me again.
I'm sorry. $82,680.14.
82,680.
14.
Okay.
And then this one is for Lafayette, which is a little bit bigger, but their economic development director makes $100,169.11.
$100,169.
And 11 cents.
Okay.
So I looked up those two.
Well, so yeah, that's exactly right. That's what I would feel like he was making. Annie says she thought that Donati was getting paid about $60,000, which is what I think. So let me tell you, $22,000, $22,320 a year is shitty money if you're a full-time or even a part-time economic development director. But hold on, pull up here real quick, Kate, because I want to see your face when I say this. However, $22,320 is a shit ton of money if you're getting paid that simply to attend 1 hour, hour and 15, hour and 20-minute meeting 12 times a year. I think that this guy is getting paid to come and read the mayor's announcements, because if you used to watch the economic development director for the last 4 years, the MRC would have what was called a mayor's report. And that's when the mayor, as the economic development director, would come in and read his report. This man is getting paid $1,800 a month to read a report that Dan Ridenour creates.
Well, here's the other thing, though.
No, it was not, Annie.
The check that he was written, the claim that was put in, was for $1,800. Are they taking out taxes on him?
I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. It's coming out of edit.
Yeah. It's coming out of edit.
Yeah.
And we just talked about this a while ago about the State Board of Accounts.
Mm-hmm.
And they had an issue with the contract that had been written for Dustin.
Mm-hmm.
And part of the complaints that they had was that some of his duties overlapped his other one, but that the duties weren't very clearly outlined.
Mm-hmm.
There was one issue. And the other issue was that it didn't specify how many hours he was supposed to be putting in for the money he was making. Did you see anything in this one about the number of hours he's supposed to be working?
No. And everyone's saying, I get what everyone's saying down here. Nope. He's not. They're not taking taxes if he's contract. You can't take taxes out if he's contract. But you're not understanding what Kate's saying. This contract is saying that his compensation is $1,860 a month. But you're saying he's turning in an invoice for how much?
I'm guessing he would turn in an invoice for around $2,000 to pay the taxes.
Oh, are you saying that you're
so
saying
when you look it up and you look in the I'm sorry, it's okay. I know that he's going to do it 1099 and MRC or whatever the hell form it is. But when you look up in the thing, it says it's coming out of edit and it's $1,860 a month, which is a very odd number.
Yeah.
Which makes me wonder where that number came from.
Yeah, like what are they doing with that? I get what you're saying. Yeah, I get what you're saying. So the bottom line is, again, whatever they're doing, I am telling you 1,000%, this man is getting paid to come to meetings and reading. That's what he's doing. And so if that's the case, he's making a good chunk of money.
Well, yeah. And then even if he's not, because Annie up here said, issue with Dustin is holding two positions and not documenting time, which leads to ghost employment. I understand that that's an issue, but in general, a contract would have very specific parameters that you're supposed to be fulfilling.
Yeah, and it doesn't.
You're supposed to put in 10 hours a week. You're supposed to complete X, Y, and Z, whatever it might be. And there's nothing really specific in this. It just, the way it's written, it sounds like he's just there to be at the beck and call of the mayor to come in and throw an hour here or an hour there and John Hancock the grant for him.
Absolutely. I'm telling you,
the way that contract is written, there is so vague that it's strange, but the amount is very odd.
It's really strange. Yeah.
And way below what an economic development director should be getting paid if they're actually doing the job.
Absolutely. It's weird. Now, folks, I want to show you the end of the contract. This is where it all comes down. Here's the end of the contract. In witness whereof the parties hereto have made and executed this agreement as follows. City of Muncie, Indiana, by Dan Ridenour, Mayor. Jeffrey Howe, by Jeffrey Howe. Signed, signature, and printed. Title. Now, let me tell you what's missing from this. What's missing from this is at least one other title, line that would say President of the Muncie Board of Works, or Ted Baker, President of the Muncie Board of Works, or whoever, or all three of their signatures. For this to be a valid contract, this should be voted on by the Board of Works. Now, this was signed on February 15th, 2024. What was February 15th, 2024? Well, that was a Thursday. So, okay, let's watch the Board of Works meeting from Wednesday, the 14th of February, and let's see what we got. Do you think they come in
Good
and
morning and
do a
welcome
contract?
to the February 14th meeting of the Board of Works. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone. If you'd like to stand for reciting the Pledge of Allegiance.
We don't need to hear them cite the
Let's see
pledge.
if we could have minutes for the February.
We don't need to listen to them do the minutes. We don't need to listen to them do the claims.
Good morning.
Here's the claims.
On one of the claims that I had sent out,
Okay, that's
assistance fund that went out to the Thomas Park Avondale Neighborhood Association. Yes,
Okay.
yes, we did the down payment on the, I think it was 16,000.
6,000.
Aye. All wisely to come up and present.
Okay. What's the next?
Alan Wisely, Department of Community Development.
Okay.
So what we're doing here is this is phase 2 of the renovations at McCulloch Park Lodge.
Yeah, that's
That
not.
all were sent out from so to repair the window.
This
600.
is not the mayor
The
coming before
last
them to
is
approve a
Property pros
contract.
received.
With what you had expected.
Yeah. The older style of glass that we may.
The way you've done it with. Introduce yourself and tell us about the fun.
Good morning. Happy Valentine's Day. Cheryl Crowder. I'm the event director for Muncie Downtown Development Partnership. And you have 3 street closings from me to the north end of South to
The, what, the 39th year?
which is to close.
It's dark. And
Yeah,
all those in favor signify by saying aye.
to work out all of the things that they need will be kind of the kick. And then we need to, the event itself starts. Yeah, and just so the mess.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Do you have any comments or other questions? Anyone to speak on behalf of any other causes? Okay, having none, this Board of Works meeting, February 14th, is adjourned.
Okay, so there was nothing pertaining to this contract. Let's just, for due diligence, go and listen to the one. So it wasn't before the 15th. So they signed this on the 15th. So let's listen to the next one, which would have then fell on the 21st. Let's hear if there was anything on the 21st.
Meeting of the Muncie Board of Works.
Okay, we don't need to listen to that.
Presented.
See if we got the claims.
We had health, and then our usual health care and utility.
Interesting. There's nothing here about this, but here's Delaney Fritch, who is part of Greenlight Resources.
Claims and nothing out of the unusual this week.
60.7% of the run in the city. Questions or any other discussion? Office of Community Development for some work at McCulloch Park Lodge, and we have Alan Wisely.
Alan, the only one that we're prepared to award a dollar to make it a little easier.
Even though there were no other bids.
Motion for the one quote that we would like to. New business, we have the distinct pleasure of welcoming Mr. Alan Holdren from Secret Families. Yeah, Alan. We are honored that you would be in our presence.
Yes,
So,
yes, honored.
You need better friends, Ted.
Yes.
Guys, thank you. This is kind of becoming a yearly thing, and my apologies for the inability to read a calendar with the 60-day moratorium normally to check out.
Okay, this is not.
Application for the street closure.
My name's Connie Kiger. I'm from the Woodlands. I'm their Director of Business Development, Long-Term Care, and we are around.
All those in favor
We've raised the amount of assistance.
to present on that.
Good morning, Delaney Fritch, Community Development. This is a contract to enter an agreement with Pathstone Corporation for down payment and closing cost assistance for low-income home buyers.
Interesting.
I started. So in about August, we've been working on this contract to address a lot of the findings that HUD had for us, at least with this contract, to help people. So
Approval of the 30.
We have one more new business item, Office of Community Development, Muncie Mission Van Amendment.
Yeah.
Mr.
Nope.
Watson.
So what this van to 5,000 down to 45,000.
Saying aye?
Nothing on this contract. So again, I will just make it clear. This has not went before the Muncie Board of Works. This contract with Jeff Howe getting $1,860 to attend the third Thursday of the month at 9 a.m. Muncie Redevelopment Commission and read Ridenour's memo to the Muncie Redevelopment Commission is not a legal contract. But Dan doesn't care about that. The city doesn't care about this. Nobody cares. The municipal executive shall also appoint an individual to serve as a non-voting advisor to the Redevelopment Commission beginning July 1st, 2027. And he is on there. His name is he's on there. I forget who he is. He is there. He's on there. I forget what his name is. But they have him on there. Bottom line, folks, we've talked about the issue with the public documents. This kind of crap, what I've just detailed for you, is why they're slow walking everybody on the public documents. No, Jim Lowe at Ball State. Denise King just said it. Jim Lowe is the non-voting member from Ball State University. Thank you, Denise. I was on the tip of my tongue. I always get Jim Lowe, Lowe, and Jeff Howe, Howe. I always get them two confused. Jim's the guy that doesn't say anything. Jeff's an asshole. So my own commentary, nobody else's. I apologize. I'm telling you, folks, listen. The reason the city is slow walking people on public documents, specifically public documents as it relates to the Muncie Redevelopment Commission, specifically as it relates to Greenlight Resources, specifically as it relates to everything like that, is crazy. Now, before we wrap up, I've got one last crazy ass thing to tell you all. And this is probably the most exciting, and the thing, I'm going to have to cut this into its own little short so people can see it, because this is the thing that probably should have everybody scrambling mad, because this is effing insane. All right? Ah, here we go. This is so exciting. Look at this. Ladies and gentlemen, doesn't this look amazing and beautiful? Oh my gosh. This is so amazing. Let me show you. I cannot wait. Hold on. This is even better than that picture. Look, let's take that picture off there. Look at this, folks. Look at this beautiful 450 Lane, 100 Lake James, Angola, Indiana, 46703. Phone number 260-833-2012. My gosh, look at this description. Pokagon State Park is located near Angola, just off I-69. The park was originally called Lake James State Park when proposed to be the 5th Indiana State Park in 1925. The name was changed to Pokagon State Park to acknowledge the rich Native American heritage of the state and region. Leopold and Simon Pokagon were father and son and the last two most notable leaders of the Potawatomi. Potawatomi, am I saying that right? The park's Potawatomi Inn takes its name from these Native Americans who made their home in the area. The inn, with its up north fishing lodge theme, is one of the Midwest's most popular resorts and conference centers. Well, let me tell you, Muncie, you, ladies and gentlemen, are going to be footing the bill for your Muncie City Council, Muncie Mayor's Administration, department heads to be going to that beautiful building for long-term planning retreat. Friday, June 7th, Saturday, June 8th, Potawatomi Inn at Pokagon State Park, Angola, Indiana. How can the administration help your goals for your districts and the city? I want to buy some of your votes on some of my crazy ass projects that we're never going to finish. What do we as a whole want to accomplish in the next 4 years? How can I get you on board with my crazy ass dreams? Let's work together for the future of Muncie, which means my plans only. Okay. This is amazing. This is just absolutely 2 days of strategy, coordination, and fellowship. That's important. Stay in the historic Potawatomi Inn on Lake James. Bring your families. There are tons of activities at the park and locally for your families. Tons of activities at the park and locally for their entertainment. Your hotel room and food cost will be covered by the city. Wow. Man, we are swimming in money. What fund is this coming out of, Kate? Do you want to take a guess?
The slush fund. Did you check out the pricing on the rooms?
I haven't. No, not yet. What is it?
So, what's the Travelocity? Is that and bookings.com had them listed at 166 for 2 adults.
Woo! I bet they're going to get
180 if you have to get a double room because you got your family with you.
Yeah, family. It will be covered by the city, so you will only need to cover the cost of food for your family. So we'll cover your food. You just got to pay for those hungry, grubbing kids money. Hungry, starving kids. Friday will include an afternoon of opening session and a dinner with families, followed by a lakeside campfire. Tell me how in God's green earth is this not an open door issue?
Yeah, Annie
Saturday morning. What?
Annie just brought that up. All 7 city councilors.
There's 9 council members. What are you all talking about? Which 2 council members did you forget?
Oh, well, she said 7.
I know. There's 9.
She just can't type tonight. It's fine.
Yeah, they can't be there. They can't be there. I don't understand. Saturday morning, we will start with strategy and breakout session and should wrap up by mid-afternoon. Tentative agenda items. Let us know what you want for your district. Get to know the city departments, long-term plan inclusion, budgeting for 2025 and beyond, and Station 5 and Station 3. So look, folks, that's not even the firehouse that they've been fighting about. That's Station 6. So are we talking about doing 2 more fire stations at billions of dollars each? Please RSVP by May 15th to the mayor at muncie.in.gov. Now, here's my thing. What I want to know, why can't they do this here in Muncie where it doesn't cost the taxpayers a dime? You know what? I'd even be willing to throw them in. Here's the deal. Department heads and city officials and counselors. You do this bullcrap work up at City Hall where it's open to the public, and I'll come up there and watch y'all. And then afterwards, I'll even help bus you all out to Prairie Creek where we can hang out on the beach together, if that sounds like your idea of a fun Friday or Saturday. And we can go wild at Prairie Creek just in time for me to drive you home so that you can get up and go into City Hall on Saturday to do it all over again. And if you're good, I will even allow the city to let you eat. They can buy you food while you're there. Pizza, not Pizza Hut, not Pizza King. I mean, because you're not worth Pizza King, but maybe some like Totino's or something. What is this? Yeah, like Jackie said, absolutely. They're also, plus mileage to and from the inn paid by the city. I mean, you think, is the mayor going to drive his wife's car, or is he going to drive the city car? Are all of the department heads that have gas cards, are they going to be putting gas in their car? Dan wants to take them all the way to Michigan border so that no one can spy on them. Well, I'm going to tell you something I heard, and I'm in the process of trying to find out. I sent an RSVP to the mayor, by the way. I sent him an RSVP because I heard that at least one of the council members had asked some questions about how is this legal, and somebody said, well, it's open to the public. So I'm going to tell you, if they're going up there, I'm going up there too. I'll participate in every bit of it. I cannot wait to go up here and spend a weekend with my mayor and my council and the police chief and the fire chief. Let's all get hotel rooms.
We need a bus.
Yes. Hey, I'll make it happen.
I have a 7-passenger SUV.
I was gonna say I'll call Steve Gaddis and see. You know what? We could all rent Dan's Airbnb, the Eagle's Nest. We could all spend the night there, and we could all do like trust circle falls, trust circle jerks in his backyard. The city should pay for it. I'm just gonna say that I'm Brandon Garrett's +2. What is this? I mean, listen. They don't need to be driving to Steuben County for this. Ding, 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 ding. There you go. The city doesn't pay for it. The taxpayers pay for it. That's what really pisses me off about this is Dan says this. Look. Your hotel room and food cost will be covered by the, oh, look, he spelled citizens wrong. He spelled citizens wrong there. We could submit an invoice saying that it was open to the public and they're the ones that chose to hold a meeting outside the county. Yeah, they got to pay for us. I've got no problem going up there and paying my own money and then submitting it to the city to get reimbursed. I got no
And
problem.
it'll go before the Board of Works, and we always know what their answer is. I'm sure it's fine.
The invoices will go before the Board of Works, and they won't they won't question any of it, and we will all get paid back.
I'm liking this
That's
plan,
right.
Christopher.
What?
I'm liking this plan.
I know, man.
I'll
It looks
bring the
it's
horde.
beautiful.
It'll be awesome.
Yeah, dude, look at this. This is beautiful. I want to go up here. I cannot wait. Oh, that's sad. Is there alcohol? Audie, you want to go up here with me? You and I need to go up there. I'm telling you. The open door bonfire. I don't even know what an open door bonfire is. What is an open door bonfire? Did it say that?
It does say on the second part of that there will be a lakeside campfire. Annie just gave it a really cool name.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I get it. Open door bonfire. Yes. Oh, yeah, we could go up there and do a live show. Live with our, yeah, it's Muncie City dumpster fire live on Lake James, Potawatomi. Am I saying it right?
Potawatomi.
Potawatomi?
I think so.
Potawatomi. Let's see here. Let's see here. 260-833-20112. I don't know if you guys.
Thank you for calling Pokagon State Park. Park office hours are 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. If you know the party's extension you are calling, you may dial it at any time or press pound to speak to the receptionist. Park information, please. Thank you for calling Pokagon State Park. Although the park is open, our office is currently closed to walking guests in light of the COVID-19. However, we are able to help you.
There's COVID-19 still up there? Hi, I don't know if you will get this or not, but my name is Kristopher Bilbrey, and I'm trying to see if you could give me a call back. I am calling on Tuesday, the 21st of May, 2024. If you could please give me a call back when you get this. My phone number is 765-546-9796. I have a question about a fun-filled weekend that you guys are going to have on June 7th and 8th. I was looking to see what the deal is with the room. So if you could please give me a call back, I would appreciate it. I will look forward to talking to you soon. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Bye. Well, we'll see if they let me know. Yeah, they said that they're closed down somewhere, something to do because of COVID-19. I don't know it's what year it is up there, but I don't want to go if they've got COVID-19. Folks, this is a blatant attempt to trade giving counselors what they want for their districts to secure votes for the bot projects. Absolutely. I'm going to tell you exactly what this is because I'm going to be honest. This is like we're making fun of this because it's like really ridiculous. It's ludicrous that Dan would plan this. None of the council members should go to this. I think that we as a city need to demand that the council members not take part in this. None of the Democrats should take part in this. None of the Republicans should take part in this. The only Republican that I think should take part in this is Dale Basham. That's the only person I think that would go. I don't believe that any of the other people should go. That is ridiculous. If they do go, they are in for the take. They're willing to listen to what Dan's trying to sell them on. And all this is about that stupid, bloody bot deal about the fire stations and doing it with that weird GM construction nonsense. So there's more going on here. I've issued record requests on all this stuff. We'll
think
see how long
you may
it takes.
also want to contact the public access counselor and get his opinion about 9 council members being invited to a retreat where they do plan to discuss city business. Whether he says it's open to the public or not, that's
absolutely
shit.
Well, what's open? Are they going to I mean, where is it? I'm waiting. I've asked the mayor what's going on with this. I've asked the mayor about how this complies, or how they're going to make this comply with open door laws. I'm waiting to see from that.
Are they going to live stream it?
Well, the live streamer guy just got in a wreck, so I don't know. I mean, I have no idea. Taking out of town so no one can see the
barring
streets.
that. I'm
no
sorry he was
clue.
in an accident, and I wasn't trying to be snarky about that.
No,
but
no, I know.
seriously, are they going to live stream it? Because that's a quorum.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. I have no clue. I am in the process of getting information. This is one of these things. This is how I look at this. This has been floating around for a little bit. Word about this has been going around. He started sending stuff out about this on May 8th. Here it is, May 21st. I'm asking for information about this because the citizens need to know about this. Like, what were they trying to do? Were they trying to get out without anybody knowing about this? I feel like that's what they were trying to do. They were trying to slide this under the radar and get out of Dodge without anybody know about it. I think that's a problem. This is just like everything else Dan does. Sly, snaky, slimy bullshit. The Republicans and the Democrat councilors should say no to this. If Dan wants to take his police chief and his fire chief and his building commissioner and the weirdo city engineer guy that likes taking pictures in the shower, if he wants to take those guys up and play The Shining, then he can do that. He what? He ran on transparency. Yeah, right. Yeah, absolutely. How many council members contacted me about this issue? You want me to tell you, Alva? You want me to tell you how many council members contacted me about this? 0. Because you want me to tell you how many council members would have contacted me about this in the last 4 years? 4 years ago, 5 or more council members would have contacted me. 5 or more council members would have contacted me. 2 or 3 of them would have contacted me because they were doing the right thing. And another 2 or possibly 3 of them would have contacted me because they were afraid that the other 2 or 3 were going to. So I would have had 4 or 5 counselors contact me about this. Under this new deal, 0 of them contact me because they're all cheap and afraid. I'm not impressed by anybody so far. They're going to have to pick up the game a little bit. I was happy with what Nora did. And you know how hard it is for me to say that? I'm not a fan of Nora. I'm not a fan of Nora. But I'm going to give her props when she does good. She did good. Audie brought that crap up, brought it to their attention, and she ran with it. And I'm going to give her props. I'm gonna give her props for that. But no one contacted me about this. Now, I will tell you, when I started calling around and asking some of them, they talked to me about it. Some of them talked to me about it. So I will tell you that. But, you know, we'll see what happens. I issued a records request for emails, for information, and we'll see how long it takes for them to get it to me. All right, folks, that's going to do it. That is going to do it. We've covered public record request. We've covered the craziness with the Greenlight Resources no contract issue. We've covered the MRC economic development chaos and craziness, and we've covered this long-term planning retreat where Ridenour wants to trap them all in there and do the shining to them. You know, I think I'd maybe pass on that. I saw how The Shining ended. So, I don't know. If they want to go up there and do all that, I guess that's on them. But I will tell you, if they go, you can bet your ass I will be up there, and we are going to have the best damn week. If any of the council members go, I will be there. I want all 9 council members to stay here, but if any of the council members go, I'll put it to you this way. If a quorum goes, if there's a quorum or more up there, I'll be up there. Because if it's not a quorum, then it's not an open meeting, whatever. But if we have a quorum, I will be there. Henry County Sheriff will be doing baptisms. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you have a wonderful evening. Keep looking out. You might want to tune in this week. We're going to have a lot of other stuff going on. Hopefully, we'll have some more records coming up over the next couple days. I'm going to keep my foot on their throat and keep pressing down because I'm done with it. They have to do the right thing. That's all they can do. I'm sick of it. They've got to do the right damn thing. All right, you guys have a great evening. God bless each and every one of you. Thank you all for tuning in. Be sure to share this if you haven't. And if you know someone from Muncie that needs to hear this, it's a lot, but they need to hear it. You guys have a great evening. Have a great tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern, right back here. Take care. God bless. Have a good evening. Goodbye.